The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hello, hello.
.908 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Good morning. Joined in studio by a very, very special guest host today. I brought my 7-year-old with me, young Brooks Hand. What's up, Brooks? You can talk. What's up, man? How are you?
Good.
Welcome into the Chris Hand Show.
Thank you.
You've listened, and now you get to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're a little bit nervous. Well, how are you feeling?
I'm kind of nervous.
Kind of nervous?
Mm-hmm.
You can handle this, though. You're a pro. Well, how old are you, Brooks?
7.
And what is one of your favorite things to do?
Probably ride my new bike that I got for Christmas.
Ooh. And which, who got you that new bike that you're so excited about to tell everybody about?
You and my mom.
Oh, all right. That's pretty good. You were pretty excited. You had a good Christmas yesterday?
Yes, sir.
What did you get for Christmas that, besides the bike, that you really liked?
Drone and lots of camo stuff.
Lots of camo stuff. You got to get the camo stuff.
And the drone.
And the drone. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And what did Dad do with your brother's drone when he was trying to learn how to fly it?
He lost it in the wind.
Yeah. It was the maiden voyage. And what did I do? It was just
calling you out.
it was gone. It was gone instantly. I said to Bishop, I said, don't worry, I'll get you a new one.
And so my mom and my brother and my sister went into another person's yard to go look for their drone.
Did they find it?
No.
No. Dad got it lost pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you were pretty glad that it wasn't your drone.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get the green light to fly Brooks's, did I?
Yeah.
So we got a big show today. Mason's been working nonstop. Mason has worked Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. He's back again today, and I said, Mason, you've been working too hard. I said, I have plenty of kids. We're gonna skirt some child labor laws. We'll get you a break, right? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna get back there. You're gonna train with Mason today. You're gonna learn how to answer the phones. You're gonna learn how to hit all the buttons. You excited about that?
Yeah.
We have openings in news, too.
Oh, do you want to learn how to do the news with Joan Jones?
Sure.
Oh, I love it.
Eager.
We're gonna put him to work. Don't worry, we'll break that positive spirit at some point today. I promise. But it's pretty cool being in here with Dad, right?
Yeah.
But is it what you expected it would be, or is it a little bit different?
It's way different.
In what way? Like a good way or a bad way?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it?
Mhm.
You think you can do this one day?
Yeah.
What would you start if you were doing a radio show? Where would you start?
I don't know.
Would you say something nice about Joe Biden?
No.
You taught that kid pretty good.
No, but would you say something nice about President Trump?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we need to know. What grade are you in, Brooks?
Oh my God. I'm 7, but I'm in 1st grade.
Yep. And where do you go to school?
At Her Christian Academy.
You like it? You got a lot of friends?
Yeah.
If you had any friends listening, who would you give them shout-outs?
Maybe.
Maybe. Which ones are your pals?
Hamburger Hudson.
Hamburger Hudson. That's one of the buddies. What about who else?
Crazy Caleb.
Crazy Caleb and Hamburger Hudson.
And Silver Sage.
Silver Sage. All right. Everybody gets nicknames. What's your nickname?
Broken Brooks, because I break everybody's bones.
Oh, geez. All right.
Wow.
Good to know. Good to know. And that's when you guys go full contact on the playground?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And it's true. I actually broke somebody's nose.
No, well, you didn't break his nose.
Well, I gave them a black eye.
Well, okay, but that's not
And their
break.
nose.
Chris, what kind of kids you raising, man?
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't think I wanted
It
over
was a
here in the booth.
mid-playground collision, guys. All right, it wasn't.
Yeah.
We're not starting a toddler fight club, and if we were, we wouldn't talk about it. I promise, right?
Don't talk about fighting.
We don't talk about Fight Club. Brooks is going to be in here all day. We got some fun today. I brought some Christmas facts. You want to hear some Christmas facts?
Sure.
So this was we had Christmas yesterday. Mm-hmm. We also had the first night of Hanukkah for our Jewish friends. Yeah. It's the first time that they've lined up in 19 years. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
That's a random fact. And then have you heard of Senator Rand Paul, Brooks?
No.
Oh man, you'd like Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul does a Festivus report where he calls out the government every year for wasting our money.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. This is a good thing. And he always, they do all sorts of crazy stuff. They spend our money trying to figure out if a rocket ship is going to hit a dolphin. It's very silly. It's very silly. Senator Rand Paul was talking about his annual Festivus report on Fox News on Christmas Eve, and it sounded like this.
You've got a lot of problems with government people, to quote Seinfeld further. How tough is it to target and find the entries on this list?
You know, I got a lot of problems with big spenders in both parties. And here's the thing, everywhere you look, you find more of this stuff. $1 trillion, that means we found a lot of waste. But it's everywhere. It's in all the big departments, in the Department of State. It's in NIH. It's in the National Science Foundation. And people wonder, why does it exist every year? We have this Department of Doge. Are they going to be able to get rid of it?
Well, hopefully they can get rid of it. I mean, some of this wasteful spending was USAID spent $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq. They spent the DOI spent $12 million on a Las Vegas pickleball complex. We've had cat experiments. We've spent money for Paraguay's border security, not our border, but Paraguay's. And one of them was we actually paid for climate action in Brazil. These are all good things that we want to spend money on. $1 trillion have been wasted, and Senator Rand Paul calling it out.
The only way to get rid of it is to spend less money. So if you give the National Science Foundation $4 billion one year and then you increase it to $8 billion, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that you're going to get more waste, not less. This has been going on since the 70s, but it has exploded. But you have to be willing to cut spending for the overall department. NIH will have more waste if you give them more money. They spent $3 million studying what kids do when they look at ads for food on Facebook. So they had a whole bunch of kids look at ads for food on Facebook, and that was $3 million worth. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars to drill holes into cats' head, spin them around rapidly, and study motion sickness. Sounds more like animal cruelty than it actually sounds like an experiment.
Yeah, listen, there's so many examples of just wasteful amounts of money. And luckily, come January 20th, we're going to have a new administration taking over the White House. It's going to be Donald J. Trump, and he's bringing with him the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They're going to be looking at all of this stuff. We had Jack Posobiec on the show, what is this, maybe a week and a half ago now? And he said, listen, every office is going to have a DOGE officer in there. Every single office. And they're going to be going through all this spending with a fine-tooth comb. This is where we need to get back to if we're going to get our country back into fiscal responsibility. It is a big ask. But hopefully Doge and Rand Paul can help sort some of this out. We also, we've been watching what's happening in England, and we look at England as a foreshadowing of what's going to come to America. And I don't know about you, it felt good to once again be able to say Merry Christmas over the holidays. In England, the Church of England and their priests were told to change some of the problematic Christmas hymns. Some of the Christmas hymns were problematic. Well, what could make it problematic, you may ask? Well, Church of England and clergy were reportedly told to make changes to popular Christmas songs to avoid causing unnecessary offense. There was a whistleblower, and he claimed that priests throughout England have been urged to modify these carols, including O Come, Emmanuel. That was identified as being potentially offensive for suggesting that other religions are outside God's grace. Yeah, it's problematic. Has anybody read the Bible? That's pretty much essentially the gist of the story. You know, there's one way to the Father, it's through the Son. So, yeah, a bit problematic to suggest that other religions are outside of God's grace. Additionally, Lo He Comes with Clouds Descending has been flagged for containing problematic words because it affirms that Jesus Christ is the true Messiah. What's happening in England? It's an absolute mess, a total disgrace. There was an email sent out to the diocese in Birmingham. Priests were reportedly told, try to use language that won't add further confusion or tension or take anything away from the good news of the nativity. And they wonder why churches in England have been closing at record numbers over the past decade. 400 churches have closed in Britain in the past 10 years. Insanity. Maybe if they just preached the word, they wouldn't have to worry about it. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a radio DJ, right? What do I know? What do I know? Trump was trolling the governor of Canada over the holidays. This beef continues, and Trump trolled Trudeau on Christmas, and he also urged Wayne Gretzky to run for the governor of Canada. I love this. I love everything about this. The trolling of Canada must continue until morale improves. And on Christmas Day, President-elect Trump said that he asked Canadian hockey legend Wayne Gretzky to run for governor of Canada. He said, I just left Wayne Gretzky, the great one, as he's known in ice hockey circles. I said, Wayne, why don't you run for Prime Minister of Canada, soon to be known as the Governor of Canada? You would win easily. You wouldn't even have to campaign. He had no interest, but I think the people of Canada should start a draft Wayne Gretzky movement. It would be so much fun to watch. I love that the trolling continues. I'm a huge fan of it. Trudeau and Trump, this is after they met at Mar-a-Lago over the tariffs that Trudeau can't afford, and where Donald Trump joked at the table, listen, if you can't afford the tariffs, you could always become the 51st state. You could, and we'll make you governor. Trudeau is in a world of trouble come 2025, and I think the Conservative Party in Canada will end up taking control. And for that, we're grateful. We need some more conservative leadership in the Western Hemisphere. Also yesterday, Donald Trump addressed Christmas on social media, and he said, Merry Christmas to all, including to all the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal, where we lost 38,000 people in its building 110 years ago. always making certain that the United States puts billions of dollars in repair money, but will have absolutely nothing to say about anything. I love that we're still going after the Panama Canal. And he continues to troll Governor of Canada, Justin Trudeau. He said also to Governor Trudeau of Canada, whose citizens' taxes are far too high, if Canada was to become our 51st state, their taxes would be cut by more than 60%. Their businesses would immediately double in size, and they would be militarily protected like no other country anywhere in the world. Likewise to the people of Greenland, which is needed by the United States for national security purposes, and who want the U.S. to be there, and we will. Yeah, we should take back Greenland. We should take back the Panama Canal, and we should just go ahead and take Canada. Wouldn't that be awesome? Do you think we should take Canada?
Make vacations a lot easier.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have to drive through a foreign country to get to Alaska. Would you be a fan of us taking Canada, Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ours. It's rightful American clay, don't you think? Yeah. Brooks wants to tell a Christmas joke. He's been itching. This is my 7-year-old, my co-host for the day. Mason's been working really hard, so we're gonna have Brooks back there doing some child labor to give Mason a break, right?
Yeah.
And you wanna hit us with some Christmas jokes?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me your jokes.
How much does Santa pay to park?
How much does Santa pay to park? I don't know. How much does Santa pay to park?
Nothing. It's on the house.
Ooh. I like it. All right. You got any more? Is that the one? You got one more? Let's go.
Why does the snowman go to the garden?
Why does the snowman go to the garden? I don't know.
Because he had to pick his nose.
Brooks,
That's pretty good.
You're doing great, man. Are you having fun being a co-host?
Uh-huh.
Did I lose you a little bit when I started getting into Canada being the 51st state?
Yeah.
I felt like I lost you a little bit. I look over and I'm talking about the Festivus report in Canada, and Brooks has a bit of a glazed look on his face.
Dad, let's get back to the jokes.
Yeah, he's like, can we do the jokes now?
He's getting settled in.
Brooks is here. He's going to be answering some of your phone calls at 615-737-9986. He's going to be helping Mason in the back. We're going to put you to work. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Brooks is going to be working all day. You may have the day off, but we're making these kids work. We got to teach them young, right?
Yeah, let's get this party started.
Let's get the party started. I love it. Brooks is here, and we're going to be here all day long, 9 to noon, right here on the Chris Hand Show, which is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Real quick, though, I got to tell you about my friends at the Glock store. Listen, if you need a last-minute fix-it gift, you know, like you messed up Christmas and you want to get in there and you want to help some people out and get them a good Christmas gift, look no further than our friends at the Glock store. Whether it's range sessions or whether it's a gift card, you got to get it at the Glock store. Now, listen, the Glock store, they're your experts in training. They're your experts in all things Glock. And if you need to find a place to train, do it in the Shoot 270 indoor training rooms. It's like nothing else you've ever seen. And you learn more and you shoot less. It's the craziest concept. It's you and an instructor in a private room, not a lane range. You've seen those before. We've all seen those before. But in Middle Tennessee, if you need to train, you do it in the Shoot 270 indoor shooting rooms. These are completely unique and right here in Nashville for you. Now, the Glock store also has a ton of good deals. Again, if you need a last-minute gift, I highly recommend a Glock store gift card. You can go down there and see those guys today. It's the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
How soldiers at Fort Campbell spent their Christmas Day thanks to some big-hearted volunteers. Also, a new group donated a camper to an East Tennessee family whose home washed away, and they donated that camper just in time for Christmas. Those stories coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 927 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand, joined in studio by a very, very special co-host who happens to look a lot like me. It's my 7-year-old Brooks. What's up, Brooks? How we doing, man? You having a good time so far at Dad's work?
Uh-huh.
What's been your favorite part so far?
Probably my jokes.
The jokes. You said you thought of another one while we were during the break.
Oh, yeah. How did a snowman go full speed?
How does a snowman go full speed? I don't know. Tell me.
Hops on the snowmobile.
He hops on a snowmobile. Nailed it. I love it. Brooks is here. He's going to be hanging out with us all day. Listen, this is the best time of year. We get to bring you guys in. This is Brooks' first time coming into the studio because you've just hit that magic age of 7, right?
Uh-huh.
That's the line in the sand that we say. You got to be 7 or up to get on the radio station, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited to be here?
Yes.
We're going to put you to work.
Let's get this party started.
Let's do it. Brooks is ready. I hope you guys are ready as well. I want to say real quick, happy birthday to Dan Mandis.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 5522 says that your jokes are better than Dan's on the super text line. I know. It's Dan's birthday. Give him a break.
I will say, Dan does get a little more silence after his jokes than Brooks does.
Dad, can we sing happy birthday to Dan?
We'll send him a voice note on the text line, okay? That way we don't. I don't want to subject everybody to my singing on the air, but we can do that for Dan off air, okay? We'll do it offline.
Okay.
Sound good? We'll send him a note. Happy birthday to Dan Mandis. Is he on a Disney cruise this week? Where's Dan?
No, he's doing overnight. He's doing
he's
red
doing
eye.
red eye?
Yeah.
This guy's a beast. Dan just keeps going. It's like, hey, Dan, you got a couple days off. He's like, perfect. I'll work all night.
Sounds about right.
That's Dan. Well, I'm in here. Brooks is in here. Mason, Joan Jones in the newsroom. Anything you guys want to talk about, 615-737-9986. There has been some news stories happening. It is that time of the year, though, where it gets a little bit slow. So phone lines are open for you. 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 9:30 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Still closed on I-840 northbound between Sulphur Springs Road and Jefferson Pike. That's exit 57 through 61. Closed for a crash investigation. We are hearing that was a 2-car crash, that there is at least 1 fatality in that crash. It looks like that closure is going to be there for a long time today, so keep it here. We'll keep you updated with traffic all throughout the day. In the news, soldiers who stayed on base at Fort Campbell this week were treated to a little bit of homemade Christmas thanks to a group of volunteers who turned what they call the Warrior Zone into a Christmas wonderland.
I'm a mom and a grandma, so, it's like they're not home. So they need to have that home, to be, and that's what we are. We're trying to make it homey for them.
Yeah, they treated those soldiers to homemade lasagna, Christmas presents, and Christmas movies. Made it feel a little more like home for the holidays. Well, the first night of Hanukkah also celebrated last night, the holiday that marks the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem in the 2nd century BC. In Washington, D.C., the lighting of the 30-foot national menorah on the ellipse. Yeah, it is a rare event, but this year, Christmas landed on the calendar as the same day as Hanukkah. Other news, a newly formed group is helping to get East Tennessee and Western North Carolina families back into a home after a hurricane that destroyed their lives. Curtis Hawkins with Mountain Strong Sanctuary says one family woke up on Christmas Day in a comfortable environment finally.
I got to deliver a camper on Christmas Eve to somebody. I was going to a family whose home had been destroyed by the hurricane.
And they had been living in their car. That was their 15th camper donation. The volunteers there at Mountain Strong Sanctuary out yesterday on Christmas Day dropping off supplies to people in need throughout Cock County. That's the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in, and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
It doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
.935 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand, joined in studio by my guest host, young Brooks Hand, the 7-year-old dapper-looking gentleman to the left of me. What's up, Brooks? How we doing, man?
Good.
You excited to be here?
Yes, you've been saying that 1,000 times, though.
Oh, all right, sorry. You're starting to sound like the Super Text line. Like, stop repeating yourself.
I was going to say, that's the nature of radio. You don't know who's joining.
Yeah, you got to reset. It's called the reset. We got to reset the clock for people just joining in.
Yeah.
I was thinking, in the honor of Christmas and the season that we're in, you know, we were talking about Rand Paul's Festivus report, but maybe if you have a grievance out there that you want to air out, you can join us at 615-737-9986. Do you have something that you need to get off your chest? Do you need to air a grievance on the air? It's that time of year. John in Pleasant View wants to talk about freeway control. What's up, John?
Yeah, it's gone.
Give me your breakdown. What do you got?
Well, basically, I mean, I do the 24 crawl every day, and it's really frustrating because it's like Mad Max every day. I mean, it's literally like Fury Road out here. I mean, I do 85. I'm no prude on the freeway. I already speed. I admit it. I get people blowing by me at 115, and it's unbelievable. And I wonder, I mean, we're a red state. Where are the cops? Where are the troopers? You know, why the reason people drive like this is because they know they can get away with it. And I'm, you know, I came from Arizona, and in Arizona, they had photo radar everywhere, and I don't want it to get like that, obviously. But
yeah, I am not a fan of photo radar at all.
Nor am I.
And I come up from Murfreesboro every day. Like I completely agree. 24 is like Mad Max. 24 is just an awful highway. I've been on worse. In Michigan, their highways are basically the Autobahn, and I think that there's even less police activity than there is here. And I'm with you. I'm not exactly going the speed limit every day, but something needs to change. And I don't know if they have even a plan in place to make anything better. You know, they talk about the increased pricing lanes, the quick lane. It's like, okay, I don't really see that working. Do you?
No, I don't. I mean, again, I think it's really an out of sight, out of mind thing. If people knew that they were going to get arrested for doing 115 on 24, they wouldn't do it. And it's like, until people start getting arrested for felony reckless driving, it's going to continue. And the problem is really, I mean, from a selfish perspective, is that these people do 115 miles an hour in a 1992 Nissan Sentra that wasn't supposed to go 85 when it was new. And then they literally come apart like a space shuttle re-entering the atmosphere.
Yep.
And immolate themselves and maybe another person along with them. And then the freeway gets shut down for 2 hours and I'm late to work. And I mean, yeah, it sounds terrible to say I hate to be late to work, but it's totally needless, you know, and it's just, it's to me, I don't see it getting fixed unless there's more of a police presence out there. I mean, even if they stuck an empty trooper vehicle on the side of the road where people don't know that it's actually not manned, it would slow them down. But
yeah, but I mean, listen, you and I both know if you go down 24 every day, you know exactly where those police officers are going to be. You know exactly where you need to slow down, and then you get around it anyway. It wouldn't matter if there was an empty cruiser there or not.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
It's
a difficult answer. It's they have to do something. I mean, I know they used to do aircraft radar back in the day, but again, it's like I'm kind of a small government person, but it's like, something has to be done because it's just out of control. I mean, it's like the Autobahn with people who don't know how to drive on the Autobahn.
Well, I've often said, listen, in Middle Tennessee, it's crazy because you don't know what you're getting into. Like the Tennessee plates are just camouflage out here. We could be dealing with somebody from New York, or we could be dealing with Meemaw from Shelbyville. We don't exactly know. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag to say the least.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate the call, John. 615-737-9986. Yeah, we're doing a little Festivus thing. You got a grievance you want to air out? You got somebody you want to put on notice for 2025, some things that you feel like needs to be changed? 615-737-9986. Let's air those grievances out. William wants to talk about, William's from Illinois, wants to talk about I-24. Is it worse than the highways in Illinois?
Yeah, I'm an over-road driver. I used to run out of the Shelbyville Walmart DC, and I had to deal with I-24 on a daily basis. And I had a Camaro and a Mustang getting into, who had the, highest priority vehicle.
Yeah.
And they made contact with each other, and the Mustang spun out, and he was like 3 feet off of my bumper. And I don't know how we didn't collide, but he wound up turning around completely backwards and drifting off onto the shoulder of the road. Thankfully, no one else got hit. But, these people out there drag racing, there really needs to be some high consequences for it, because that moment of glory for them can kill somebody.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, listen, there definitely should be consequences for drag racing, 100%, and I appreciate the call. Well, I think there should also be some higher consequences for these street takeovers and the burnouts and the donuts that we see in the intersections. I mean, you've seen those happen in Antioch, right? It's absolutely insane.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. It's like the Target parking lot is covered in circles because of it.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Todd, who's on the road, is actually a police officer. What's up, Todd? Hey,
Morning,
Todd.
how are you doing?
What's up, man? How we doing? You got a grievance that you want to air out? Lay it on us.
Yeah, I've been a police officer in a couple states, including Tennessee, and I know that, and I'm just learning about it now, but a couple of years ago, I believe Tennessee got rid of their habitual traffic offender law.
Okay.
And so it's not unusual for me to stop someone for a traffic violation and see 2 pages worth of violations, and often violations that are related to the one that I'm stopping them for at the time.
2 pages of violations?
I'm sitting there thinking, why is this person still driving?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, 2 pages of violations seems like that shouldn't be happening, right?
It's not unusual.
How often, what percentage of people have more than a page of violations?
As far as the stops that I make, I would say 30%, 25, 30%,
Whoa.
Which is way too high.
Yeah, that's a lot higher than I expected.
I was expecting like 15 maybe.
And what do you do? Are they just kind of like, oh, yeah, again, I get it. I'll pay this later.
So they're issued a citation, and, that goes on their record. But you would think that after accumulating as many citations that would fill up a page or a page and a half, that there would be some sort of enhanced penalty.
Yeah, you would think so. I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. If you got a grievance that you want to air out in the spirit of Festivus, the phone lines are open for you. Any grievance that you want to air out. 615-737-9986. 9986. I have a bit of a grievance. Americans are struggling this Christmas season, and Joe Biden doesn't have any help for them. Instead, he commutes the sentences of people sitting on a sentence of death, and Joe Biden commutes it. Joe Biden commuted the sentence of nearly all of the people on federal death row.
More on all this, Alexandra.
Hi, John. Good to be with you. You know, another person on that list was convicted for killing 12 people in Philadelphia. That included 4 children. Now, President Biden says that he condemns these murderers and grieves for the victims' families, but added this in his statement, quote, "In good conscience, I cannot stand back and let a new administration resume executions that I halted."
Yeah, Joe's got such a big heart, and he's so caring that child killers get their sentence commuted. I feel like that's a pretty good one for airing of grievances. Maybe you could just focus on making life better for the American people instead of worrying about the monsters that are sitting on death row federally.
Now, Republican Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis, she responded in part saying, instead of death row, these monsters will rot in jail for life at taxpayer expense. More coal for crime victims on his way out. Now, exempt from these downgraded sentences were those who committed acts of terrorism or mass murders fueled by hate. That is Boston Marathon bomber Zohar Tsarnaev, Charleston church shooter Dylan Roof, and Pittsburgh synagogue shooter Robert Bauer. So those are exempt from the list. But
yeah, don't worry, guys. The ones that had hate crime charges, we're not going to let those guys off so easy. But the ones that killed 12 people and kids, that's no death penalty. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You got a grievance you want to air out? 615-737-9986. Josh in the borough wants to talk about Target in the borough. What's up, Josh?
Hey, yeah, the Target intersection there on Old Fort in Murfreesboro is just absolutely a nightmare to get into. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's just that whoever designed it should be slapped in the face.
That is one of the worst intersections that I've ever come across in the history of intersections.
Yeah, it is a pain, and my wife is a avid Target shopper, and so I'm there quite frequently, and I see it. It's just the whole thing, and I think all of Murfreesboro they're very reactive instead of proactive in the growth there, and I don't think the road networks can support it. I used to work at the hospital there, and getting down Medical Center with ambulances and the way they kind of redid and tried to widen the lanes there, it's terrible.
Yeah, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where it takes about 45 minutes to get to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, right?
Exactly. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Love the show, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, Josh. Thanks for listening. 615-737-9986. If you got a grievance you want to air out in the spirit of Festivus, you want to air out a grievance, 615-737-9986. I'll be honest, I don't shop much at Target, and I stopped years back because they had gay dog clothes, and I thought that is a bridge too far for Chris Hand, and I never went back. Never went back. Just me. Maybe it's just me, but yeah, it was too much. It was too much. We don't need rainbow tutus for the dogs. This gets a little bit extra. 615-737-9986. If you got a grievance that you want to air out, Joe Biden. He's letting killers off death row.
The names included in the president's first round of mass clemency, remember that 1,500 more than so, prompted several Democrats even to sound off.
I have no doubt there were some righteous pardons in this group. Okay, let's say that. Now, I believe that there were. But there were a number that I think make no sense at all.
So there was bipartisan pushback on that. For example, Kids for Cash scandal judge Michael Conahan, who's convicted of receiving kickbacks for sending children to for-profit detention centers. One mother whose son died by suicide after being locked up for months for being at an underage drinking party told Fox that she was shocked and hurt that the judge's sentence was commuted.
Yeah, I mean, these are the people that Joe Biden's letting off. Even the Democrats are like, it's not a good look. Not quite a good look. But I've given you the opportunity to air out a grievance in the spirit of Festivus, 615-737-9986. What do you have a problem with that you need to let the people know? Amanda in Nashville, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Amanda?
Well, to try to stay on your subject that you're on right now, I have all kinds of grievances with the Biden administration and their decisions and the justice system at the moment. But I wanted to just bring up traffic again. I don't really like those lanes where you pay extra money. That's just another way of giving money to an insufficient government.
Yep.
I would actually like to see private industry, or even maybe some rules of engagement on our highways within Davidson County, and maybe even out to the outer highways like 840 and Briley Parkway and 440. Why do 18-wheelers need to come through our city between the hours of 6 and 9 and between the hours of 3 and 7? Can't they schedule their shipments around those rush hour times? Can't we look at some of these vehicles with governors and people moving oversized loads and things like that? Can't we encourage them either by law or just by conversation to have them stay out of the city during those times? That's what's slowing down traffic and causing chaos. I mean, in the years between 2014 and now, especially around 2014 when we had 21 cranes downtown, traffic was horrible before COVID because you had all that construction traffic moving through Nashville all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to listen to what we could do about that, but I do know that, and I appreciate your call, Amanda. I do know that truck drivers might take a bit of an issue to that, having to plan around rush hour and all those kind of things. That'd be tough. And anecdotally speaking, we're the number one show for truck drivers, so I don't want to speak for them. I'm sure a truck driver has a thought on why they can't go around during rush hour. 615-737-9986. Let's go to Chris in Tennessee. He wants to talk about DUI drivers. Is that a grievance that you want to air out?
Well, it's not about DUI drivers. I have never had a DUI, but I had my license revoked for driving on improper insurance. But when I tried to get a restricted license to drive back and forth to work, the governor, I even went to to talk to them at the Cordell Hall building, and they said, you can only get a restricted license if you've had a DUI.
Interesting.
I'm like, that's insane. Why would you allow only drunk people to drive?
It doesn't make much sense. I appreciate the call, Chris. Let's go to Ron in Manchester. What's your grievance, Ron? What do you want to air out?
Listen, I know so many people just in my area and family. UPS and FedEx drivers are putting packages out in people's yards next to the road, and I know it's not just people I know. I know it's got to be thousands of them.
Wait, they're just leaving them. They're just leaving them on the side of the road.
Well, right there at the end of the driveway, and out in the driveway, 3 people I know told me the same thing. And we sent a package to Ohio 2 weeks before Christmas, and it hadn't arrived. So people just they need to,
Oh my!
I know
gosh.
they're busy, and I know it's covered up, but leaving it out in the yard where the rain is, and not taking it to even close to the house.
Yeah,
that's my grievance.
That's too much. That's a good grievance, Ron. I appreciate the call. Yeah, I can understand why you'd have a grievance with that. I have a story here about a stressed Amazon driver and their solution to all the packages up in Massachusetts, just a day before Christmas. You're not going to believe what this Amazon driver did. I'll tell you when we get back, and we can air out more of your grievances at 615-737-9986. I'm in studio with my very special guest host, Brooks Hand. And I listen, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but this guy, sharp guy, smart kid, good looking, 7 years old, and this tooth in the front of his mouth has been getting increasingly wigglier as the show has gone on. You could have a visit from Santa and the Tooth Fairy in the same week. That could be. Listen, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Are you having fun here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna remove all that fun, okay? And we're gonna replace it with hard work when we get back.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna put you in the back with Mason. You're gonna start hitting buttons, and if we go off the air, everybody's gonna know that it's probably Mason. But you're gonna be in the room supervising him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep me under control over here.
You're gonna keep him on? All right. Brooks is gonna head to the production studio. Brooks is gonna do some work back there, and we'll be back. I got this story on what a stressed Amazon driver did with his Christmas load just the day before Christmas. Oh, my gosh. This person, you got a grievance that you want to air out? I'm sure that there are people in Massachusetts who have a grievance because of this guy. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Up ahead on Super Talk 99.7 for folks heading out on I-40, there's a new problem that you should probably know about. Also, we'll tell you how to recycle that real Christmas tree. Those stories coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 9:57 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. My son Brooks is now back there working with Mason in the producer's studio. He's hitting all the buttons. You're working him, right? Don't take it easy.
Oh, absolutely. He's not getting it easy today.
We got to build character. Because you don't want these kids to get out in the real world and get their first job and do what this Amazon driver did just days before Christmas. An Amazon delivery driver who was really stressed in Massachusetts before Christmas decided instead of delivering the packages, he would dump them on the side of the road.
Honestly, I can't blame him. I used to work for Amazon.
You've had those intrusive thoughts.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I worked during COVID, so it was like 600 packages at a time, and I'd be like, you know what? I don't feel like I'm working this 14-hour day today.
Listen,
I've wanted to dump packages before.
This delivery driver would have got away with it too if it wasn't for the meddling local police. Yeah, they discovered the gifts on the side of the road and made sure they got to where they needed to be. A sergeant from the Lakeville Police, operating just south of Boston, happened to notice the material while driving through the area at about 2 a.m. Sunday morning. The packages weren't strewn around carefully, placed in 3 Amazon bags. When police examined the contents at the local station, they found more than 80 packages. There was no word of any heist. Nobody had stolen these packages. And when they called the nearest Amazon distribution center to return the package and figure out what happened, they realized the driver just said, screw it. I'm just going to leave these here. Unreal. Yeah, I can understand why somebody in Massachusetts...
That was weird.
It is weird. That is weird. I can understand why somebody in Massachusetts would have an issue or a grievance with Amazon today. I do. You firing those buttons back there?
You're fired.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would say to the Amazon guy. Brooks has commandeered control of the hotkeys.
He's got all the important buttons.
He's got the good ones. He's got the good ones. The people really like China. If you want one to hit, Brooks, they love that one. Go for it, man. Hit it.
China.
Yeah, see? There's a couple different ones on that, too.
China.
Yep. Do it again, bud.
China.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite. But we got a new one right at the end, right? Keep rotating through.
China.
Yeah, one more.
I haven't pushed it through yet.
You didn't put the new one in?
I'm sorry. I'll get it in today, though.
He had one job.
You're fired.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Brooks is taking over. Y'all have a good show.
All right. When we get back, airing of grievances. You got an issue? You got an issue this holiday season? You want to let somebody know about it? 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, hello there. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. I-840 northbound still closed this morning, Sulphur Springs Road to Jefferson Pike. There was an accident involving a couple of vehicles that happened at 6:30 this morning, and TDOT is saying this may also involve a fatality. So this could be out here for quite a bit longer. Again, it's on I-840 northbound between Sulphur Springs and Jefferson Pike. The roadway is closed off. In other news of the day, this is the day that AAA expects a lot of people to start hitting the road to get back home after the holiday.
Of the 119 million people expected to travel over the holiday season, 90% of them are going to drive. And if you're among those millions hitting the road, well, AAA tells us that the best time to drive is before 11 a.m. Expect plenty of traffic between noon and 5 p.m.
Yes, so that is ABC's Gio Benitez. You still have time to get out, if you want to get by before the worst of the traffic at 11 o'clock. So if you're planning to head toward North Carolina, there's a heads up for you. There's a big chunk of eastbound I-40 near Pigeon River Gorge that collapsed, and that's a new problem for that area that was hit hard by Hurricane Helene. Now, this representative from North Carolina DOT said there are ways to get around it.
We do have I-26 open into North Carolina in Carter County. That's one lane of traffic open in each direction around mile marker 38. We've got those bridges that we're continuing to work on then. I know that's helped alleviate a lot of the issues.
Engineers are working on that section of I-40 to stabilize it. The flu is making a comeback as 13 states, including Tennessee, report either high or very high levels of flu-like illness. The Tennessee Department of Health is saying outpatient visits are up 4%. The CDC saying it's too early to tell if it's a good match now for the flu vaccine for the types of flu that we're seeing this year. If you've got a real Christmas tree and you're wondering what to do with it now that the holidays passed, Nashville says you can start dropping them off today for recycling. There are 13 locations, mostly at Metro Parks and Living Earth locations that accept trees through Valentine's Day. Clarksville, the drop-offs there start at Heritage Park today through January 6th. Just remember to undecorate them before you bring those trees for drop-off. And the day after Christmas, that's the day when a lot of people will head to retail stores to use their gift cards that were stuffed into their stockings. But they'll also return those gifts that they weren't crazy about, even the ones they purchased online.
Looking at the seller's return policy, pay attention to who pays for that shipping. Because if you have to pay, you might be able to save on some fees if you're able to also return that to a local store.
That's Retail Minot's Stephanie Carls. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
.10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing.
Bro.
And you seem nervous. Is somebody in there gunning for your job?
I think so. I think I might be out of a job.
We brought
Don't
in a
tell
ringer.
Paul Mason.
We brought in a ringer. My 7-year-old back there, Brooks, is learning how to run the board. Give me a thumbs up if you're having fun, man.
You having fun back here?
I don't see a thumbs up. Uh-oh. There it is. There it is. It was a delayed thumbs up. Attaboy. Hey, we got a lot to get to today, including the airing of grievances. It's a good day for that, isn't it? It's the day after Christmas.
Absolutely. But before we get into anything big, Brooks asked for a simple request here.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? As a good producer,
okay,
I think I can abide by that.
All right. What's the request?
Some fun music to play just to add on for you.
Okay. All right.
Wanted to hear Jingle Bells live on the air.
Oh, there you go. That's a good call. I'm surprised they didn't request the Batman Smells version. Is that what you were thinking in your head? That you wanted the Batman Smells version? Yeah, I see a nod back there. That's we've been a big fan of the remix at the Hand household.
I can't blame you. That's a good version.
If you got a grievance you want to air out, 615-737-9986. Bonnie in Dixon wants to talk about FedEx. Bonnie, you got a grievance with FedEx?
Yes, I wanted to verify what that man was saying about FedEx packages being left at the roads.
Yes, ma'am.
My son went online and he ordered an engagement ring for his girlfriend, and he gave like $1,400 for them to make a ring, and it was some family that specialized in making these engagement rings, and somebody had to be home on the day that it was delivered to sign for the package.
On account of it being a very important engagement ring with, I'm assuming, diamonds.
Well, yeah, with $1,400 that he spent on it. And so he was already nervous that he had done it online and was worried about being scammed because it had took so long. And so it was finally coming, and I was home that day, and I seen the FedEx truck go by, but I never had a knock on the door or anything. And my property is completely fenced with a gate and everything, but it's only an acre, and it's really close to the road. And I have dogs, so I keep it gated so no one can, the dogs can't get out. And I never heard a knock or a horn, nothing. And so when I seen the truck go by, I thought, well, I wonder if he just missed our address. And so I said, well, I'm going to go check the mail. And I walk out, and on the ground against the fence is that package with that $1,400 ring just sitting there like anybody. I live at a three-way stop. Anybody that come through that intersection could have seen that package sitting on the ground.
That's crazy.
And picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1,400 worth of the piece of jewelry and just left. And obviously I didn't have to be there to sign for it because he never even asked me to sign. So
that's insane. That's insane.
That is insane.
Listen, I'm glad that you found it and it wasn't a worse ending to that story because it easily could have been.
I was watching, but I didn't. Like I said, I never seen him pull in the driveway. I never seen him get out. And I've got 5 dogs, and they're usually a really good bark alarm.
Yep.
And so they never even heard him either.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
It was
That's a
insane,
wild story. Yeah. Hey, thanks for calling, Bonnie.
I don't know what they do.
Hey, FedEx.
Thank you so much.
FedEx is on the list for Bonnie. I appreciate it. Thanks, Bonnie. Let's go to Jim in Franklin. What's up, Jim? How we doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, buddy? No grievances, all praise. I want to say hey for the first time to my fellow New Englander, Chris Hand.
What's up? What's up? What part of New England are you from?
I was born and raised in North Smithfield, Rhode Island, just south of Franklin, Mass.
Okay, very cool, very cool. How long you been down here?
I tell you what, you guys, there's not a bad show on this station. I, of course, coming from the land of the delusional, moved out here in 2000. I have always claimed Rhode Island as my home, but since living here, I have renounced Rhode Island. I have a Tennessee flag hanging out in my front yard, and you guys just make every day great.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, Jim. Although I don't know, do people in Rhode Island have Rhode Island flags hanging out in their front yard?
I used to. And I was Air Force for 8 years, stationed out in McConnell Air Force Base in Kansas, and I always hung a Rhode Island flag out in front of my house there too. But I moved to Tennessee listening to NPR and Dan Mandis and Brian Wilson and all of them changed my mind.
Hey man, well welcome to the right side. We're glad to have you, and I appreciate you listening as always.
Thanks.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of your day. Brian's last show was on Christmas Eve, and heck of a broadcast, heck of a career for Brian Wilson. You can watch all of that again or listen again on our Facebook page. Did you see the numbers that Brian put up in his last Super Talk TV appearance?
Oh, really?
Did you see the numbers he put up?
No, I didn't.
It was like 27,000 views the last time.
Did he really?
Dude, the guy's a beast.
I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised, but like
the last thing he did on the way out was he set a very, very high water mark.
Oh, absolutely.
Unreal. Well, listen, again, congratulations to Brian and that amazing career. If I was going to air out a grievance, is that we couldn't have Brian Wilson for another 10 years here on this station.
Oh, absolutely. But, and he's not gone forever. He'll pop in every once in a while.
He'll be popping in, and
his show being over is It's always a sad ending for sure. But we're glad that we had him for as long as we did.
But he's got a retirement plan in there, and he's ready to go, man. And I'm excited for him and for Cabana Wife.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to be living out the glory days. He bought an RV, right?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Him and the dogs out on the road is wild.
Dude, I want an RV so bad. I mean, Brooks, we got so many of us. Imagine if we were going to the beach and we had a living room that we could drive in. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes.
Yes, right? We had a little TV back there, some N64, some Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Tell Mom.
Wait, what?
Just tell Mom. Tell Mom we need an RV.
We need an RV, Mom.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to sell her, bud. I'm trying. Doing my best. 615-737-9986 if you want to air out some grievances in the honor of Festivus. Sam is in Nashville. Sam is also a trucker. What's up, Sam?
Yeah, going on that woman that had an issue with the truckers coming through rush hour, morning and the afternoon.
I knew that a trucker was going to call in and was going to flip the grievance on her. What's up? What's up, Sam?
I'm not trying to be mean, but it's not up to the truck drivers that sets the appointments. If she wants the appointments changed, and the driver's not to be in them times, she's going to have to go to the customers to tell them she doesn't want the truckers in the area and then time zones. And plus at that, even if she does get them changed, the drivers are still going to have to come through because we got someplace to be, either going out west or going down to the southeast or wherever the case may be. So she's not going to be able to get rid of the problem with truckers. And if she really hates truckers that much, don't go to the store to buy your groceries.
I love it. Hey, thanks for the call, Sam. I appreciate it. Hey, have a good one. I appreciate what you do, man. God bless you guys. James in Watertown, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, James?
Hey, man, just to piggyback off him, so the interstates weren't built for civilians. It was built for the truckers. And also the FedEx and UPS deal, if the truck is going down a skinny driveway and there's no way to turn around and you got backup, like you can't turn the truck around, that driver is not going to go up that driveway.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I do. I completely get where you're at, man. And I love that you said, though, the interstates were made for the truckers, not for the civilians. So your suggestion would be stay on the back roads.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. So,
hey,
anyway, I know everybody's going to drive and do whatever, but I mean, like back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, like the interstate was built for transport of heavy material.
Yeah, I hear you. I appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much. Let's go to Robert in the borough who wants to air a grievance on I-24. What's up, Rob?
Hey, how you doing, guys? First of all, I leave Smyrna at 5:30, and the first thing I do is turn 970 on, and it's on. I go up to Franklin, Kentucky, and come back. Usually back to Nashville, probably around 1:30, 2 o'clock.
All right.
And the problem is with the roads. You know, you got to consider you got 40, and you got 24, and 65 coming right through Nashville. Now they built 840 to go around. What they need to do is complete I-40, make it a whole loop around Nashville, and the truckers that are going north or going west or going east can get on that and eliminate coming through the town. And it's like the other guy said, you know, the interstates are just not made for. There's too many vehicles out here for the interstates is what it is. That's the whole thing.
Well, so, listen, if there's one thing I know we can trust, it's the government to fix the highways, right?
Right. And one last thing. I hope Johnny B is listed, because that was a heartbreaker when they said he's leaving. So anyway, happy holidays, Johnny B. We miss you.
Yeah, we love you, JB. And I've been texting with JB over the holidays. He sent me a nice Merry Christmas. Sent one back. We love Johnny B, man. We love him, like with my whole heart. I don't know if there's any other radio guy that I've met that has made such an impact like Johnny B. It's unbelievable. I also got a message here. I was saying that I wanted to buy an RV, and I was saying, but we need to talk Mom into it. And Brooks was like, yeah, I'm on board. Erin sent me a message on Twitter, which you can find me on Twitter at Chris Hand on Air. She said, rent the RV. The money, they're money pits. And if you get hit, they will basically explode. Just rent one for the vacation and then return it. They're kind of like boats. Okay, I'll just rent one. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll rent one. Amanda in Nashville has a response to the truckers out there. What's up, Amanda?
Hi. I was hoping to hear from another trucker, but actually I am a customer. I do rely on truck drivers to deliver goods to my customers. And so my comment was not against truck drivers. I realize that they have scheduling people that can schedule their loads to come through Nashville at the right time. And so this wasn't meant towards truck drivers.
Oh, no, I didn't think you were coming at truckers. I just thought it was funny.
Well, I just wanted to comment on that. And I did enjoy the last comment about it, but I do think that it's a good idea, just if anybody wants to help out traffic, to maybe just go get a cup of coffee for a couple hours, or take in their rest time for a couple hours during rush hour.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Amanda. Thanks for calling back. Amanda got nervous. She's like, listen, I love the truckers. We love the truckers. One of my favorite things that's ever happened was the trucker convoy protest in Canada. Like, you have to understand how important truckers are to this country. Unbelievably important. While everybody else is off this week and they're having, lighter schedules, the truckers are out there. The truckers are out there doing the work that needs to be done, and it's a thankless job. Honestly, I don't think that truckers get enough love or respect. But they could shut this country down in a day if they wanted to, like in a heartbeat. If truckers got organized, man, you could see real political change in this country so fast. Bob in Nashville, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Bob?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well. I'm a trucker, and I've noticed this in the last couple of about a year or so at the truck stops. There's been a group of, they look Hispanic. I shouldn't judge anyone, but they don't speak English, and they ride the bus back and forth from Mexico, I understand. The bus is called a Tornado. It's the brand of the bus. That bus goes to Mexico and comes back to Nashville here and drops off these same individuals. And what they're doing is they've got a group here that goes to the car auctions and buys these junky wrecked cars, and they bring them to a lot somewhere near a truck stop, and they get one that will run, and they put two on the back of it on these little car dollies.
Yep.
And they get duct tape, and they put in the back window in tow, INTOW. It's funny because sometimes I misspell that. And then they strap these little lights on the back of it, and then they head off in the middle of rush hour traffic in the rain on a Friday and start heading off to Mexico with this caravan of these junky cars. I mean, some of them have donuts on the back, spare tires on the back, and they're going to make this run. And they make it to about Jackson, Tennessee, or on the other side of Jackson, and then you see three of them caravan pulled over with the hoods up working on these cars. Well, the whole time I'm getting diesel at the truck stop, I'm talking, I'll see a state trooper in there and say, what's going on with this? I mean, you pull me over if I have one side light out.
Yep.
Or, an indicator light is blinking, or a short, or a headlight is something. And these clowns are driving from here all the way down to Mexico. And I know that they don't have driver's license because when I stand in line to pay for my diesel fuel, they're paying for their fuel all with a $100 bill, because the girls behind it drives them bananas because they can't make change, because one will stand there, buy a tank of fuel. It's a fresh, crisp $100 bill. And the local policeman drive around the parking lot, looks at everybody's tags, make sure that we're all in compliance. But they let these clowns get on the road and head off. And the reason I know they don't have driver's license is when they buy cigarettes in Skull or Copenhagen or whatever, they have to show a proof, and they unfold this piece of paper, and I'll say, what is that? And they'll say, well, that's just their proof of their age. And I'm like, well, that's crazy.
It is.
I mean, I don't know why they even the local police drive around and see all this going on, and it's the same guys. I see the same people riding this bus up there. And the little girl that works the coffee bar up there, she says they come in, they got the coffee cups that they buy one time, and they get a free refill. And it's a big 64-ounce deal, and they use a whole thing of sugar, and they don't spend any money in the truck stop. It's a rotating door of these junky cars, and I don't know It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insanity, man. Rules for thee, but not for me. It always seems to be the case. And I appreciate the call as always, Bob. I've heard about these cars in tow numerous times. I have. Brooks, you having fun with those hotkeys back there? My 7-year-old's producing right now. He popped in my ear during the break and he said, "Wrap it up, Dad. Wrap it up." All right. We'll wrap it up. We'll take more of your calls on the way. It's 10:23 on
Bingo.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Bingo.
A passenger jet that crashed in Kazakhstan may have been the victim of war, and a family with 2 young children had been living in their car since Hurricane Helene hit. Yesterday on Christmas, they woke up in a safe and warm space. Those stories coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 10:27 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is sort of producing, but my 7-year-old is back there. Brooks, he's doing most of the work.
Yeah, he's running circles around me.
He is. He keeps giving me thumbs up. He's rocking it. You're rocking it back there, man.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, you're welcome, pal. I'm glad somebody's in here doing some hard work. Lord knows me and Mason aren't.
Yeah, we're slacking off today.
We are. We have to. It's the holidays. What are you going to do? 615-737-9986 if you got a grievance that you want to air out. Coming up at about
Get
10.
working, Dad.
I'm trying. Coming up at about 10:35. Brooks has a grievance that he needs to air out, and this grievance has to do with one Ken Weaver.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if you want to hear the issue that Brooks has with Ken Weaver, and you want to hear that grievance, that's coming up at 10:35. You're gonna let him have it, right? You going to give him the business?
Yeah.
Yep. We are. Get ready, Ken. Get ready, Ken. He's very disappointed in Ken Weaver. Ken walked in and he goes, "That's him, right?" I said,
Makes
sense. That's him. So,
I showed my sisters a little hockey there.
Yep. What we'll do is we'll air out Ken at 10:35. All right. All right, get ready, Brooks. In the meantime, if you got an airing of a grievance that you need to get out on the airwaves, 615-737-9986. Dave in Nashville wants to talk about T-Dot. What's up, Dave?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, pal?
Okay. Yeah, I had a good Christmas. Hope to have a good New Year.
I love it. Love it. Amen.
Hey, the other day I was driving up 24, heading to Clarksville, and I got to the Ashland City exit. There were 3 big T-Dot mower units there mowing the median. One of these mowers had a flag so huge that it covered the side of the mower unit. This was not a United States flag. This was a Mexican flag.
What?
Now,
on one of the T-Dot mowers?
On a T-Dot mower. The last I checked, this is the state of Tennessee, not the state of Chihuahua. And it flew all over me, and I thought, when has it become okay for a foreign power to fly their flag on a United States government vehicle? So I called T-Dot. I've tried multiple times to get somebody to talk to me because their manager, the person who was overseeing them knew what was going on. They didn't sneak that flag onto that mower because I'm telling you, it would cover the entire side of the unit. But I can't get anybody to talk to me. I've called 3 times. I keep being put on hold, this, that, or the other. I have yet to talk to anyone in charge.
That's wild. This is a grievance we need to air out. Did you get a picture?
I didn't. No, because I was on 24 flying like everybody else. But the wind was blowing, so this flag was flat against the side of this mowing unit. It was plainly, everyone could see this was a Mexican flag, as big as the mower. So I'm hoping someone from T-Dot is listening.
Interesting. I am getting text messages as you're speaking saying that the mowers are actually private contractors. I don't know if that makes any difference, but it always does blow my mind that you get, this is maybe an aside because I don't know the immigration status of this individual, but you always get people coming in for that are illegal aliens or coming in from other countries, and then they wave the flag of the country that they're fleeing. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. But if they are private, I totally get that. But I think there should be something in a contract that says you can't fly anything but an American flag if you're going to be mowing our medians. I mean, I just don't get that. It's craziness.
I'm with you. I don't get it either, but I will say this, Dave. Many people have been texting in saying that those mowers are private contractors. Those guys are contracted out. I don't know if that makes it any better or if it makes it any worse, but thank you for your airing of a grievance. Again, at 10:35, Brooks has a grievance that he's going to air against Ken Weaver. So we're gonna bring Brooks back into the main studio for that. And any other grievances that you want to air out in the spirit of Festivus, 615-737-9986. We'll air more of your grievances when we get back. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 10:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. It now appears that a passenger jet that was headed for Russia and crashed in Kazakhstan over the weekend was the unfortunate victim of war. The Wall Street Journal's reporting that plane had been diverted to an area where Moscow's air defenses have battled Ukrainian drones in recent weeks. An aviation security firm says the flight was likely shot down by Russian military air defenses. 38 people were killed. Meantime, Russia hit Ukraine with a new strike on Christmas Day.
Russia launching a barrage of missiles and drone strikes targeting the Ukrainian power grid, leaving 500,000 people without heat in freezing winter conditions and triggering widespread blackouts. People in the capital, Kyiv, left to spend the holidays sheltering in subway stations. President Zelensky posting, Putin deliberately chose Christmas for an attack. What could be more inhumane?
That's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. In Nashville, the more areas are open now after the Christmas Day bombing 4 years ago. The south block of 2nd Avenue has reopened to traffic after construction wrapped up ahead of schedule. That'll get cars and foot traffic returning, but business owners like Frank Miller tell Channel 4 they are still struggling.
This is not the end. It's just the beginning of trying to get the street and the businesses back on its feet.
Yeah, careful traveling in that area, too. There are some new traffic patterns to pay attention to. Christmas Day for one East Tennessee family who lost their home in Hurricane Helene was spent for the first time in a warm and safe space. Curtis Hawkins of Mountain Strong Sanctuary says he was able to help that family move out of their car and into a camper.
I mean, it's the coolest Christmas present I'll ever get to give, that's for sure. I gave those parents somewhere safe for their kids. That was the coolest part about it.
The newly formed group also tells Channel 4 they handed out toys and necessities to families in need. Mountain Strong Sanctuary has a Facebook page where you can find out how you can help as well. That's the latest news. We've got weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
It doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
It's 10:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're airing some grievances in honor of the Rand Paul Festivus report. So we stole Murphy's Festivus bed.
If he gets mad at anybody, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, it would work out. Is he on today? Because he can air a grievance against us for using his bed.
I think he's on today. He should be on in his new show slot at 3 to 7.
Look at that. The fancy new time slot. Murphy, taking over
Too
3 to
good
7.
for us.
Chad Benson
Can't
taking
talk
over
to us
12 to
anymore.
3. We're very excited about all the changes here. There's been a lot of changes here. I know some less exciting than others. But listen, Murphy deserves that slot, and he's going to do a fantastic job.
Absolutely. We're proud of
We're
him.
very, very excited for Murphy. Like, I can't think of a guy that deserves it more. So congratulations to him. But we're doing the airing of grievances. We're doing the airing of grievances, and I got my 7-year-old in here with me today, Brooks. And Brooks, you have a grievance that you need to air, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, you got to talk into the mic. And
Yes.
Who is your grievance against, young man?
Ken.
Now, why are you upset with Ken Weaver? You got to talk into the mic. Let's focus on this one, okay?
Because he hasn't watched Santa with Muscles. All he's got to was the part where Santa with Muscles got fighted the first guy, which is like 5 seconds.
That's what we said. The kids were so upset. They said Ken said that he only got 15 minutes into the movie, but he also said he only got as far as the first fight with the gardener, and that's about 6 minutes in. So we got a grievance with you, Ken Weaver.
I'm sorry, Brooks. I know it's a travesty. It's been 2.5 years.
And you haven't watched the whole thing yet. If you're not paying attention, you're not keeping score at home. Santa with Muscles is maybe the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
It is a Christmas movie of all time, for sure.
It is a Christmas movie of all time. It's Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan's like a really rich billionaire, and then he gets bumped in the head, and he gets severe amnesia, and he believes that he's Santa Claus.
This is the best plot I've ever heard.
And the little elf takes his wallet.
Yep. The elf is scheming against him the whole time.
And he pretends like he's helping him, but really he's working for the bad guy. But then the elf moves on to Santa with Muscles side, and he finds out the bad guy's plan, and then he tells Santa with Muscles, and it gets really confusing.
It gets confusing.
Just a little bit.
Nobody said the movie's not confusing.
Well, don't spoil it for me, boys.
But
I'm still gonna watch it.
Is it worth it in the end? With Santa with Muscles, how does the movie end, Brooks?
Plug your ears, Ken.
Ow, Brooks!
Brooks, give him a spoiler alert. How does the movie end? In the basement of an orphanage under a church.
The orphanage falls.
The orphanage falls.
I heard there were some crystals involved, aren't there?
What do they do with the crystals?
They have a crystal laser sword fight.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
It's the best. Listen, if you're looking for a movie with your family that really, brings out the spirit of the season and highlights the birth of Jesus Christ.
Tugs at the heartstrings.
This isn't one of them. But it is definitely still a Christmas movie. He said, I'm going to give Ken the business. I said, give Ken the business. And then
giving me the what for, man?
I got a text. I got a text from the wife. Said, our younger brother, Bishop, is saying, get him, Brooks.
Come on, man.
Well, you got to watch it. You got to watch Santa with Muscles.
Now, Brooks, I have a question for you.
Sir?
Did your daddy introduce you to Santa who?
No.
Ah!
I have not done it yet.
You've got to watch that one,
all right,
Brooks.
You'll
love it.
We got to watch Santa Who tonight, all right?
There's no muscles in it, but it's funny.
All right.
Boring.
But see, Brooks has been spoiled. He likes his Christmas movies with laser crystal sword fights.
That's right.
in the basement of an orphanage.
That's right. A couple of full Nelsons and some slaps.
And with bad guys that are in toxic suits, which is just gas that Santa with Muscles is in a tank top and shorts, which it doesn't even hurt him a tiny bit.
No, he's a beast. He's a beast. He's the strongest Santa we've ever seen.
Yeah, doesn't even hurt him a tiny bit.
Nope, doesn't hurt him a bit.
That's
Brooks,
awesome.
Brooks is in here multitasking. He's also making some amazing art. And I wish that my son, his art would go for as high as the president's son, but we haven't reached those thresholds yet.
Well, maybe if you do what the stream's title was and pardon him, you'll be good to go.
Is that what it is?
I was going to say, I think Brooks is going to take a much better road.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. We don't need him driving through any residential neighborhoods going 170 miles per hour in a Ferrari paid for by the mayor of Moscow's wife.
Yeah, maybe you should stay away from those crystals, too.
Yeah, let's stay away from the crystals. Good. That's a good idea. 615-737-9986 if you want to air a grievance out. It is that time of year, the airing of grievances, and it's a fun way to do a holiday show. 615-737-9986. Wayne in Dixon, do you have a grievance that you would like to air out?
I do. It's actually Lane. Sorry.
What's up, Lane?
Man, I work for FedEx, and a lot of these customers turn into the Grinch this time of season, which I understand. I get it. But if you talking about that lady about her son losing her engagement ring, you can actually go on like FedEx.com and actually put in notes to be on our scanner and tell us where to actually put the package. Even if you have a gate, you can put in the gate code, and we can actually drive it up to the front.
All right, so your grievance is with the customers.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are nice, but there's a lot that definitely turn into the Grinch.
You get any customers this time of year that really hook you guys up, give you like a good bonus?
Oh, yeah, man. Last week I had in 3 days I delivered over 84 packages, and I came back the next day and they handed me a $100 bill.
Woo! That's wild. All right, man. Well, hey, listen, you guys do a thankless job. We appreciate you, especially this time of year. So thank you so much for doing what you do, man.
Hey, I have a joke for your son, by the way.
All right. Brooks, we got a joke for you. You ready? Okay, he's listening.
All right, how do you make a tissue dance?
How do you make a tissue dance?
Sneeze your freeze?
No. How do we make a tissue dance? Tell us.
You got to put a little boogie in it.
Hey,
I know you like that.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Lane. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Love the show, man. Happy holidays.
Hey, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Thank you. We'll say happy holidays for those that very, very small portion of the country that happens to be located in big blue cities. Say happy holidays for you. Merry Christmas for everybody else.
I'll let you stand in solidarity.
and happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends.
Yes.
First time in 19 years that Christmas and Hanukkah lined up. Pretty cool.
That is actually pretty cool.
It's I know, it's just like a random thing that I heard and it's stuck with me. Even more rare, it can happen where Thanksgiving and Hanukkah line up. First day. Much more rare. Much more rare.
Interesting.
I wonder when the last time that happened. I got to look that up.
Both of them rotate, so that's a tougher one. Ron in Lawrenceburg, you got a grievance you want to air, Ron? Lay it on us, man.
Well, talking about the lady that had the problem with the trucks and whatnot, the issue is she got to realize that 90% of these truck drivers that she sees on the road are not from our area. They are from other parts of the country, and they're not even familiar, so they're following their GPS. A truck driver is also limited to a 14-hour day, so there's absolutely no way that he can park his truck for 3 or 4 hours in the morning, 3 or 4 hours in the evening to miss the traffic in the cities, because that is the most regulated job that there is. And if you look at what the issue is in city traffic, a majority of the time it's not the truck drivers. They're pretty well safe for the most part. It's the people in the cars jumping in and out and slamming brakes and this and that and the other. And I don't mean to be acting like I'm irritated at that lady. I understand where she's coming from, but they are a very regulated thing, and everything you get, from your sugar that you put in your coffee to the lumber for your house to your dishwasher, so everything has to be delivered by those trucks, and they have to do it in a timely manner. If they were to shut these trucks down for 2 days, you think it was bad getting your supplies when COVID happened, but you shut the trucks completely down, and we would be in a total mess. We still haven't recovered from the issue from before when the trucks weren't able to run. So when you see a truck out there, just kind of give them a daggone wave or whatever like that, let them know that you appreciate it, because everything that you eat, get, or wear it comes off of one of them vehicles. And like
Amen.
I said, they are a very regulated industry, and they have all these crazy rules to follow that people just don't realize. But like I say, pay attention to the vehicles that's on the interstate, and you'll see it's not the trucks that's the people that's with the issues on driving. It's the four-wheelers.
Yep, I'm with you, man. I hear you, and we thank our truck drivers. We respect the hell out of them. What the work that they do, they have so much power in this country that is not recognized. They could shut this country down so fast if they needed to. And I wish they did some of these past 4 years. I mean, there's been enough things that have happened where we could have had truckers step up, and I wish that they would have. You know, the trucker convoy protest in Canada really sent shockwaves through that country because of how important truckers are. Unsung heroes. We got on this topic of airing grievances because of the Rand Paul Festivus report. The U.S. government wasted more than $1 trillion on kooky, frivolous projects this past year. And when I say kooky, you can bet that they're kooky. The HHS spent more than $400,000 on a study giving rats cocaine. Yeah. $400,000. No big deal. This is the kind of stuff that I don't see happening at the HHS with RFK taking over. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we need to fix before January 20th, but I think we're going to be waiting until January 20th for them to be fixed. This $1 trillion price tag on Rand Paul's Festivus report, highest annual tally since Biden took office in 2021. One of the most mind-boggling spending lines that he had was, again, $419,000 on a New York University study to determine if lonely rats seek cocaine more than happy rats. See, you got to know. These are questions that the American people have been pining for answers, right?
It's the information that keeps us moving.
The lonely rats like cocaine more than happy rats. This is our federal government. This is what we need to fix. We got a lot more. There was a $2.24 million study on whether or not felines can contract and transmit COVID-19. Yep. It was a waste of millions in taxpayer dollars and killed over 30 cats. So there's that.
Wild.
And remember, the cat ladies wanted to vote to continue that kind of stuff with Kamala. So there's a lot more in this report. Do you want to know how much the Beaded Ladies Cabaret received in taxpayer funded to put on a drag performance in ice skates? I'll tell you about it next. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
talk about your airing of grievances. Wait until you hear what happened just outside the security checkpoint at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix involving a family, a knife, and a gun. Coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, my gosh. I'm ready for that one. That's a tease. I'll tell you what. I fly a lot. One of my biggest fears, and it's never happened to me.
Yeah.
But I always fear accidentally bringing my firearm into the airport.
It can happen very easily.
It's happened to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was just an honest mistake.
Right.
Good lawyer, $10,000 later, and problem solved. Problem solved.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what else cost $10,000? I didn't plan this segue whatsoever. But airing of grievances, the Festivus report from Rand Paul. $10,000 of taxpayer money from the National Endowment for Arts awarded to the Bearded Ladies Cabaret for a drag performance on ice skates.
Goodness.
Things we didn't ask for $10,000, Alex. The Bearded Ladies Cabaret. I just said beaded? The Bearded Ladies. Oh, gosh, that makes it even worse.
Well, I got to get the beads from somewhere.
Listen. I don't want to know where. The Bearded Ladies Cabaret, a self-described queer cabaret arts organization. Yeah, well, you kind of gathered that. Won the dough because they support climate change-themed ice skating performances. So not only is it bearded men in dresses on ice skates, but they're skating to what I would only assume is interpretive dance about climate change. If that's not worthy of taxpayer dollars and you think that's a waste, you might be a commie, actually.
$10,000 could do a lot of good elsewhere.
Oh, my gosh. But listen, we wouldn't have got this so-called Beards on Ice show featuring polar bears, drag queens, and a character dubbed non-binary parental guardian nature.
Goodness.
Yeah. So, but don't worry, it brought climate change awareness to tens upon tens of people. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The National Endowment for Arts, they wasted a bunch of money. They were called out by Rand Paul for spending $385,000 in federal dollars since 2015 on art displays for New York's Highline Park, including a $40,000 price tag on a 16-foot tall pigeon sculpture that will soon grace the popular Manhattan strolling location. So,
goodness,
$40,000 for a pigeon sculpture. Everybody knows birds aren't real. Why do we have to put a statue up for them? The report noted that $288,000 in precious taxpayer dollars was spent to create affinity groups among bird watchers based on who they are and how they identify. So you have bird watching groups for groups. Nice.
Money for groups of people who watch birds?
Yeah, because we can't have the they thems with the she hers watching the birds. You know what I mean? It's got to be separate but equal. Separate.
Oh my!
You know, this is what we got. The State Department also spent $3 million encouraging girls in Brazil to become climate leaders. I'd become a climate leader for $3 million.
Absolutely.
Sign me
I'd
up.
buy myself a plane.
Sign me up.
And I'd fly it all over.
Listen, that's the trick. Have you seen the best way to advocate for climate change is to get a private jet and fly it all over the country. And then wherever you land, you tell people that they need to do their part.
Yeah. While the engines are still running.
That's the trick. Well, yeah, you got to keep the plane warm.
So you can hop on and hop off real quick.
Yeah, we'll be back. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk. There's a lot more in this Festivus spending plan, plus more of your calls on the airing of grievances. 615-737-9986. Al, Jeffrey, Corey, we'll get to you guys after the break. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Looks like we've got a building fire that is causing a backup due to onlookers on the interstate. This is going to be I-40 at the 24 exit downtown. No lanes are blocked, but there's a lot of black smoke causing drivers to slow down there. 40 at 24 downtown. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Talk about an airing of grievances. It got violent at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix. Just out the security checkpoint, police say 3 people were shot, another person was stabbed, injured by gunfire, and another person stabbed due to a family dispute. An adult female, 2 adult males were shot, leaving the female with injuries police described as life-threatening. The 2 men were in stable condition, expected to survive. The man hospitalized with at least 1 stab wound, in stable condition. No word on what they were fighting over. Investigators are looking for the cause of a deadly crash of an Azerbaijan Airlines plane in Kazakhstan. 38 people killed, including both pilots. The Wall Street Journal reporting the airplane may have been brought down by Russian air defenses who had been targeting Ukrainian drones.
Russia had recently defended the area from Ukrainian drone attacks. When asked whether the plane may have been fired upon by air defenses, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters it would be wrong to speculate before the investigation is complete.
That's ABC's Ines de la Cuetara. Russia at first said the plane was down by a bird strike. An unwelcome surprise when a plane landed in Hawaii on Christmas Eve.
A flight from Chicago to Hawaii is the focus of a police investigation after a body was found in the plane's wheel well. The United Airlines 787 landed in Maui. The airline says the wheel well is only accessible from outside the aircraft. Investigators have not called the person a stowaway. They also have not said how the person died.
That's ABC's Andrew Dembert. Here in Nashville, a woman was arrested at B&A during Tuesday's ground stop for American Airlines flights. Casa McCord got into a fight with a man that included violent physical threats. It happened as American Airlines staff was trying to rebook a canceled flight. McCord was reportedly confrontational with police as well, who said McCord admitted she had a few too many drinks. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
It's 11:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The day after Christmas, and we are airing out grievances. I've been going through Rand Paul's annual Festivus report, and it's inspired us a bit. It's inspired us. If you got a grievance you want to air out, 615-737-9986. I got my young guy back there, Brooks Hand, 7 years old, giving me a thumbs up from the producer studio. He's taking your phone calls. He's getting you lined up to get on the show. So make sure you're nice to him. It's not Mason as usual. So be a little bit more cordial.
Yeah, I wish my voice sounded that deep.
Yeah, Brooks has a deep voice for a 7-year-old.
Yeah, man.
I hope it's not. I hope he doesn't use the same tricks I used as a kid to get a deep voice.
What'd you do?
Well, I'll tell you about it when the kids aren't around.
That's fair.
We got a lot to get to. Jeffrey in Old Hickory, what grievance do you want to air, my man? Jeffrey. All right, I'll put Jeffrey back on hold. We'll go to Al. Al, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Al?
Hey, this is like instead of the radio host asking, I need some audio, please, they could be like more professional and say, let it rip, tater chip.
Let it rip, tater chip. And so when Mason doesn't bring up my audio, I just need to hit him with a let it rip, tater chip?
Yeah, either that or Mason, it's time to string the bean.
Oh, I like that. I like that. It's time to string the bean, bud. Let's go.
Hey, I got a good joke for you, son.
All right, hit me. Brooks, this one's for you.
Okay, you know why cockroaches have antennas?
Why do cockroaches have antennas? I don't know.
They cannot afford cable.
All right. Thanks for the call, Al. I appreciate you, man. Cockroaches have antennas because they can't afford cable. Have you ever had to deal with an antenna in your life, Brooks?
Oh.
No, you haven't, have you?
No.
These kids are so spoiled. They don't know what it was like for us growing up, putting tinfoil on the antennas.
Hey, Brooks, do you know what a landline phone is?
No.
No, he doesn't know.
Do you know what dial-up internet is?
No.
Just thought I'd run through the
Let's
little
run
gambit real quick.
through it. Let's run through it. He doesn't know. It's okay.
It's okay.
It was a land before your time, bud. It was
good movies.
It was a weird time to grow up. It was a weird time to grow up.
Why did you grow up in it?
I don't know. I didn't have a choice in the matter.
Because he's old.
I'm very old. Very old. We're not as all young and handsome as you, sir.
He's making an old man face.
They can't hear the faces on the radio. Some of us thank the Lord for that.
Here.
Yeah, we can't hear it. Listen, we got a lot to get to. 615-737-9986. Corey in the borough, you want to air out a grievance? You're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Corey?
Not much. First of all, it's been an honor to talk to two of the three children that you have. And first of all, it's no one with the studio. It is with WTN, and it is the one with Johnny B being let go. I know everybody there in the studio and the talent, producers, and so on had nothing to do with it, like Mandis said. But I will say that is one of the recent steps that WTN has done that makes me listen less. And I will say Mandis and your show are the only two hardcore repeat offenders of listening, I should say. And to point out another one that was done is the makeover minute that Mandis does. Some of those I don't think were appropriate. One of them was like the New York City police officer saving the dog in a time where New York police officers are shorthanded and should be saving people, not dogs. Small things like that just make me listen less. And I also acknowledge that is part of me growing up. I'm a little bit older than you, and I love the Seinfeld references. First of all, they're making me laugh. That's one of the reasons why I like your show. And that just the people who made the decision about Johnny B, I think, are like the ones in health control or health care with the masters of public health versus an MD or an RN. So whoever's making those decisions, I really, really hope they stop, because they can make a decision that will be like a Bud Light decision and totally ruin a fantastic group of people.
Hey, I hear you, man. And listen, I appreciate you listening. And, I totally get where you're at. I do. Listen, none of us are happy about the JB news. JB's a great guy. And listen, he exemplified what a professional does when they get when they get news they don't want to hear. And
exactly.
And I'll go a step further though. The leadership that we have in this building, they weren't exactly happy with this decision, to put it lightly. And they fought against it as best they could. But they let JB get on the air and give a final goodbye, and I was grateful for that. That doesn't happen a lot in this business. So, it speaks to the character of JB, and it also speaks to the management here and how much they didn't want that to happen the way it happened. It sucks, man. It absolutely sucks. I don't know. There's no real way around it. Just to say,
yeah, and I understand it's one of those things that has to be the way it has to be. I do, but I'm just saying again. The people who have the decision-making skills, I just hope they don't make any more bad ones to ruin it for more and more people, because I just think small decisions like that, obviously it's a big one there, but for them it is a small decision, that these small decisions are going to build up to a big snowball that they won't be able to move. And it's going to be over kind of thing.
Yeah, it's tough when you have higher ups that are located in an office, hundreds of miles away that don't see what it's like day to day here. It's just
I understand it. I understand it.
It's hard to deal with. But listen, man, I appreciate you still listening. I appreciate you still tuning into myself and Mandis, and we love you guys, man, and we're right there with you. Just trust me.
Oh, I know. Well, I hope you have a great New Year, Brooks. Keep it real. And tell your sister we miss her. She needs to come back as well.
Yeah.
I know the other one is too young to be here, but in time, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. They all got the 7th birthday circled on the calendar. Once you cross the threshold of 7, you can come into the studio with Dad.
Oh, okay, right on. That's
yeah,
what
man.
I look forward to then.
Yeah. And Kennedy is actually, and I appreciate the call, Corey, as always. Kennedy's actually, I'm going to bring Kennedy in tomorrow. Because, it's the week after Christmas. Everybody's listening patterns are off, and we got to have some fun. Tomorrow is actually Kennedy's 11th birthday, which is crazy. Brooks, did you get anything for your sister yet? Well, there's still time, man. We gotta step that up. We gotta get her something nice because she's got a birthday tomorrow. So yeah, listen. At this time of year, we're just flowing. We're keeping it easy. We're bringing the kids in, and we're also identifying the waste of the government via Rand Paul's Festivus report. Listen to this. Under a section in the Festivus report titled "Ghost Towns on the Government's Dime," Rand Paul raged that the federal government spent $10 billion on maintaining, leasing, and furnishing almost entirely empty buildings. Yep. $10 billion maintaining, leasing, and furnishing almost entirely empty buildings. There's a lot of spending that we could fix. One of the things that we could fix is, actually getting people back into the office. The number that I saw that was just astonishing to me is out of all the federal employees, about 6% show up at the office. And that could be a lot lower if you remove the custodial workers and the security officers. Absolute insanity. But it gets worse. Our federal government spent $20 million on a Sesame Street show in Iraq. Just let that sink in for a minute. Couple things. No Sesame Street show should cost $20 million ever. And why are we having a Sesame Street show in Iraq? I feel like we've spent enough money in Iraq, but they said $20 million more for a Sesame Street show is well worth it. And they said because they need to promote inclusion and mutual respect. So $20 million for a Sesame Street show in Iraq to promote inclusion and mutual respect. Well, you know what? I didn't know. I couldn't put my finger on why Iraq felt more inclusive this past year, but I think we now know why. It's that $20 million Sesame Street show. Worth it, right? That's an investment that we're going to see a return on. I am sure of it. $20 million for a Sesame Street show in Iraq. It's money well spent, guys. It's money well spent. They also spent about $250,000 to promote soccer in Serbia. Yep. Listen, we were all thinking it. Serbia doesn't have enough interest in soccer. So this is not a waste of taxpayer dollars. Not one bit. And, the lack of soccer in Serbia was nothing short of appalling to the American public. So when the opportunity came available to spend $250,000 to promote soccer in Serbia, listen, Americans were lining up to volunteer their own money for that. And the federal government said, no, we've taken some of your money already. We'll use that. They say that by promoting soccer in Serbia, they're going to keep potentially budding terrorists on the straight and narrow. Yep. That's our government. What could Doge possibly cut? Everything is so needed. Those Serbs would not know the joy of soccer if Doge was around during the Biden years. And listen, let's thank the good Lord that Doge wasn't there to stop us from promoting soccer for $250,000 in Serbia. There's more. In addition, the DDHS spent over $365,000 over the past several years to promote sideshows in various city parks nationwide. Most recently, a $30,000 grant in 2024 for free circus performances. That's nice. That's nice. Nothing says free circus art performances like a $30,000 price tag brought to you by the taxpayers, right? One of the largest expenditures in Paul's Festivus waste report was a $12 million investment of taxpayer money on a pickleball complex in Las Vegas. $12 million for pickleball in Vegas. Yep. Listen, I mean, if you got to play pickleball, this is where you want to do it. 5.4 acres, 30-court complex inside Sin City, funded with, in part, with money spent by the Department of the Interior and against the wishes of nearby homeowners who petitioned the city to vote against the agreement and consider moving the complex elsewhere, citing concerns about noise and nuisance, increased traffic, parking congestion, and an overall decrease in their quality of life and home value. The federal government said, quiet you. We have $12 million that's burning a hole in our pocket, and pickleball is where we need to spend it. So if you're a pickleball aficionado, Vegas is the place to go. Listen, Paul is vowing to work with Congress and the incoming administration to cut waste this year. Lord knows we need to cut waste. Rand Paul has been saying this for a long time. Donald Trump and Doge coming in, that's going to definitely help. Hopefully, but we'll find out. We'll find out. We spend all this money of taxpayers on things like promoting soccer in Serbia or Sesame Street shows in Iraq, and it's like America's falling apart all around us. All around us. We have these big cities that are just falling victim to crime. We have just bills out the wazoo, and we still have money to send over to Iraq for a Sesame Street show. It's insane. Yet we don't have money for failing American cities. We don't have money for struggling police departments. We don't have money for any of that stuff. Nothing for that. Meanwhile, in California, there was an owner of an In-N-Out, and this woman owns about 400 restaurants, and she said that she was forced to close the Oakland location because there was a crime almost every day of the year at her location. And this closure was the only restaurant she's had to close, that In-N-Out has had to close in over 75 years. It's insane.
Yeah, it's interesting. How do you decide on growth? I mean, you have over 400 restaurants, and I know you just had to shut down one in Oakland, which I'm going to guess why, but I'm going to let you make a remark. But how do you make these decisions, whether to grow or to shut a store down?
It was just absolutely dangerous. There was, out of 365 days, I think almost 300 days, there was some type of event, some type of thing
in
happening.
Oakland.
In Oakland.
So let's just put this in perspective. We have $20 million for a Sesame Street show in Iraq, yet we have no money for the police in Oakland. Weird. money for non-citizens, nothing for Americans. It's America last under Joe Biden.
Yeah. Like what, robberies or violence?
Car burglaries, violence, fights, theft, you name it. I mean, there was a lot. There was actually gunshot went through the store. There's the stabbing. There was a lot. It was
and you've
bad.
never shut a restaurant down before.
No.
And so this must have been pretty
huge,
hard.
Yeah. Listen, when gunshots are ripping through the store and your customers are being stabbed and their cars are being burglarized outside, you can understand why they want to shut down the store. It's hard to make money at a business operating under those circumstances. Yet we don't have any money for the police in Oakland. No. Instead, we'd rather promote soccer in Serbia for $250,000. We'd rather find out if lonely rats or happy rats prefer cocaine more for about $500,000. That makes more sense. We'd rather spend about $12 million on a pickleball complex. That makes more sense. Don't worry. I have a feeling this country is going to get back into a place of sanity come January 20th. Oh, the countdown continues. It's 11:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
All right, got a crash. It is blocking the right shoulder of 65 northbound right there at exit 55 in Williamson County. The stop-and-go traffic starts at Saturn Parkway. Christmas Day shooting at the airport in Phoenix. Tell you about it at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is an insane airport down there in Phoenix. Absolutely insane. They can't go a year without a major story. Last year at this time, we were having all the stories about the illegal aliens flying through Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport without their ID. Weird. Yeah, Biden brought him in. Strange. Now this. I was just in Phoenix for America Fest with Turning Point USA. Had a blast while we were there. One of the guys we saw main stage before Donald Trump was Tom Homan. And Tom Homan had some choice words for New York's Governor Kathy Hochul because, Kathy Hochul's all over social media claiming how safe the subway is in her city. And she did that just hours, just a day before a woman was lit on fire on the New York City subway. And it's absolutely insane. Tom Homan was talking about this on Fox the other night.
Well, look, this is another example of an illegal alien killing American citizens. It's almost a daily occurrence now. Because historic number of criminal aliens walking the streets, because this administration's policy in sanctuary jurisdictions and lax immigration enforcement. ICE has their hands tied. Secretary Mayorkas have given them priorities that they can't even go arrest an illegal alien anymore unless he's convicted of a serious crime. Then maybe they can arrest him. So this is on this administration. As far as Governor Hochul, shame on her. She supports sanctuary status in that state. She welcomed thousands of illegal aliens to her state. She sent them to Buffalo and Syracuse. Murders occurred by illegal aliens in Buffalo and Syracuse. She has a green light law. ICE and CBP can't even work with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement can't even share DMV data with these people. So Governor Hochul, shame on you. There's nothing you can say that's going to make this right in New York.
No, he's absolutely right. There's nothing that you can do that's going to fix this. Absolutely nothing. And the more we learn about that illegal alien that lit someone on fire on the train, it's just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Don't worry. Don't worry. He said he was too drunk to remember. Oh. That makes it better. That's his cover. That's his cover. The Guatemalan illegal alien, a little woman on fire on the New York City subway train, says, I was too drunk. I was too drunk to remember. This is insanity. Brought to you by the Democrat Party. This insanity stops on January 20th. This insanity should have never started. But here we are. Here we are. And that guy, the Guatemalan illegal alien that was too drunk to remember lighting a woman on fire, he's being accused of bugging out. People that are near him say that he was an alcoholic and a K2 smoker. What is K2? Well, K2 is like synthetic chemical cannabinoids, which is supposed to mimic marijuana, but it's completely different. And it's these synthetic cannabinoids are often referred to as K2. They affect the same area of the brain as cannabis, but it's this chemical that's made in a laboratory that's sprayed onto dry leaves, and these chemicals are not derived from the cannabis plant. This stuff is actually illegal in New York City, illegal in New York State. And if you do too much of it, I mean, it comes with anxiety, confusion, paranoia, hallucinations, all the way up to vomiting, seizures, heart failure, kidney failure, fainting. This is not good stuff. And they say that this individual who lit the woman on fire he said he was too drunk, and his roommate said that he would do this often, would drink to excess, and then he would have some of that K2, and he would lose it. He would lose it. This is what his roommate said. He said he smoked K2, drank, and bugged out. He would bug out and talk to himself when he was high, but he never harmed anybody or himself. When he wasn't high, he was like we were talking to somebody regular. Yet this individual was bugging out, and he lit a woman on fire on the New York City subway. This story is horrific, absolutely horrific. And the governor was just claiming how safe their subways are. So safe, so safe. Yeah. Okay. There's actually a lot more that's been happening on the New York City subways, including something that happened on Christmas Eve. I'll bring you an update on that when we get back. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 5 minutes. Christmas Day shooting at the airport in Phoenix. 3 people injured, one of them stabbed. Police said it was a family dispute at an airport restaurant outside the security checkpoints, Terminal 4 at Sky Harbor Airport.
Investigators have not determined what started the fight, but they stress that it all happened in a food court outside of the secured area in Terminal 4. In other words, no weapons slipped through the TSA checkpoint. 4 of the 5 people involved in the armed family fight were hospitalized, 1 woman in critical condition.
No word again on what started the family fight. A day of mourning in Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan after a deadly plane crash on Christmas Day. Investigators searching for the cause. Here's ABC's Perry Russum.
Of the 67 people on board, at least 38 are dead, including both pilots. Russian news agencies report the plane was headed to Russia and was rerouted to Kazakhstan because of fog. Kazakhstan authorities say a bird strike may have led to engine failure. The Wall Street Journal reports some experts are questioning whether Russian air defenses connected to the war in Ukraine may have played a role in the crash.
A horrific discovery at a home in New Hampshire after 911 calls from family members to check on people expected at a Christmas gathering. State Fire Marshal Sean Toomey.
4 more deaths that appear to be carbon monoxide related.
Yeah, apparently they've had several of those recently. The fire marshal said they found 2 older adults and 2 younger adults, all over the age of 18. A new Associated Press NORC poll shows 2/3 of American adults say they have tuned out about politics and government on TV. The poll, conducted in early December, found that about 7 in 10 Democrats say they're stepping back from political TV news. About 6 in 10 Republicans. MSNBC's Morning Joe ratings down 35% since Election Day. One viewer said, if the network wants to expand its audience, then you have to talk about issues. You have to stop talking about Trump. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. It's 11:32 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the entire family at Busy Bee. It's Chris Hand for my friends at Busy Bee, and they got better deals than cold milk and cookies this time of year. Busy Bee has a limited number of 14-SEER 1.5 to 3-ton split heat pumps for residential unit replacements for only $6,995. This is a steal, and it includes everything: labor, equipment, material, warranty. It is the perfect balance of home coziness and energy efficiency. This is what you need. Call Busy Bee today. If you don't need your heater replaced, maybe a $69 mainline camera inspection from Outside Cleanout would tickle your fancy. Or how about this? A free package upgrade for air duct cleaning. That's a steal. You buy a basic air duct package and they upgrade you to the next level for free. So you buy the middle of the road package and you get a premium package. That simple. Lastly, you get a $500 gift card after installation of a whole home main water or drain line replacement or a whole home water or drain repipe. These are the guys to do it. For satisfaction guaranteed, call your Rude Pro partner. Call Busy Bee HVAC. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Online at busybeehvac.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
Doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
It's 11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming producing, Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My young son, Brooks, 7 years old, he's back there learning how to produce.
I was going to say, you might need to correct. I'm not the one producing. Someone else is.
Brooks is rocking it back there. You doing all right, man?
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. You enjoying the gig?
Oh, yeah.
You think you want to come in and start doing this full time?
Yeah. And if it's allowed, he can just go home and I can work this tomorrow.
Perfect. All right. You hear that?
Yeah.
Let's go. Mason, you got the day off tomorrow.
I just need to ask Paul if it's okay that I still get paid.
We won't say anything. We won't say anything. Brooks
I'll give you the money.
Yeah, there you go. Brooks will give the money.
If I get paid, or if he gets paid, I'll get the money.
We got Brooks producing. Thanks, Brooks. I'm glad you're here, man.
Thanks, Dad.
It's fun, man. It's fun. It's fun having the kids in. Bring your kids to work day. We're gonna bring in Kennedy tomorrow. She's got a birthday coming up. You wanna wish her happy birthday, happy early birthday?
We wish you a happy merry birthday. We wish you a merry birthday. We wish you a merry birthday and more cake.
So you know what I was doing yesterday, which Brooks got in on it with me. And I've decided I'm gonna be working towards this as we get to Christmas next year. I'm bringing back Happy Christmas. I made an executive decision yesterday when I found out that it annoyed my wife when I would say it, and so I've just started doing Happy Christmas to everybody on all the text threads. Most of the text threads, it was Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, and now it's not Happy Birthday; it's Merry Birthday.
Merry birthday, Happy Christmas. We're switching it up, but I'm good next year. Just wait. Going on a Happy Christmas crusade. Just feels classier, doesn't it? You feel like it feels classier?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We try.
Classic is fun.
Classic is fun. We got to do it. So I'm bringing back Happy Christmas. I don't care what anybody says.
364 more days.
Well, get ready. Get ready. Once we get to like 3:30, I'm going to be...
Set the reminder on your calendar.
You know who else agreed with you on the no more Merry Christmas?
What was that?
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Yep.
How dare we?
Yeah, it's Happy Christmas now. it's classier. It feels classier. My mom was not impressed when I said Happy Christmas. She's like, "Oh yeah, and Merry Birthday, Merry Birthday." Okay, we're doing it. We're bringing it back. I don't care what anybody says. 615-737-9986. If you want to join the conversation, listen. We were talking about the New York City subway. Absolutely, who would want to ride the New York City subway at this point in time? Honestly, it just reminds me of all these leaders saying, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Everything's fine. Everything's fine." And then it just all chaos breaks out. This is what Governor Kathy Hochul was saying the other day. She's saying, "Listen, the New York City subways, it's the safest it's ever been," as people are being stabbed and lit on fire. And she goes, "Guys, we're all on the subway. We're all riding the subway." And she's posting videos on social media of her riding on the subway. Everybody's like, it's a lot easier to ride the subway when you have armed security with you. You know, it's very easy to feel brave when you have armed guards. Yet the majority of the people that ride the subway in New York City, surprisingly enough, they don't have armed guards. That's just a Governor Kathy Hochul thing. So while she's bragging about how safe it is, your average American citizen in New York doesn't have the security she does, and they find themselves caught between a crazy person and a hard place. Just on Christmas Eve, 2 injured in a New York City Christmas Eve stabbing at Grand Central Station. This story is insane. This maniac ran out and attacked 2 people in separate incidents at Grand Central Subway Station, according to local news reports. And it's wild. This story is wild, but this is the state of the country that we're in.
Violent and seemingly unprovoked Christmas Eve attack here at one of the busier train stations in the city. We do know that police were quickly able to arrest the suspect, but that suspect also had multiple prior arrests. Here's what we know of what happened yesterday evening. It was around 10:15, according to officials, on a northbound 456 train platform when the 28-year-old suspect approached a 42-year-old man. They got into some sort of argument over what, we don't know at this point, but it was then that he slashed the man in the wrist with a weapon and then ran up nearby stairs.
So he gets into an incident with a guy on a train. He slashes him with a knife, and then he scurries off into the night. The New York City subways are completely safe, they tell you. Anybody can ride them. It's one of the safest subways in the world. Who wouldn't want to ride the New York City subway? So the maniac slashes somebody on the subway, and then he runs away, and he gets into another confrontation, this time with a woman as he's trying to exit the subway.
Then, according to officials on the next level of the train station, he slashed a 26-year-old woman who was standing near a turnstile, and he slashed her in the neck. He then tried to escape, according to the NYPD, heading up an escalator, but other subway riders, witnesses to the incident, were able to point him out to police. He was quickly arrested, and police did find a knife on him.
You know, it's crazy, though. It's like that woman gets lit on fire, nobody does anything. They'll pull out their phones and record. This guy is stabbing people. He runs away. Nobody does anything. They'll try and assist police later. This is why the world needs more Daniel Pennies. Where are the strong men that are going to step up in these situations and protect people? You know, the strong men are nervous that the full weight of the federal government is going to come down on them for doing the right thing. All by design. I feel it in my bones that this is all by design. They don't want good men to stand up and be brave and do anything. They want you to sit down and be quiet and deal with it. Deal with it. While the governor tells you, oh, it's the safest. It's the safest it's ever been. Such a safe subway. People love the New York City subways. They're the safest. You know, and she posts that on social media, despite the fact that New York City subway murders have reached a 25-year high. Yep, as Governor Kathy Hochul goes on social media and congratulates herself, remember, New York City subway murders are at a 25-year high. Congratulations, we did it. We did it. You guys are awesome. Congratulations. Congrats. Again, this is after a Guatemalan illegal alien lit a woman on fire on the subway. It's insanity. But they want you to be used to this insanity. They want this insanity to be wallpaper. They don't want you to do anything. They don't want you to react. They don't want you to keep people safe. They want to scare you away from doing that. I mean, that's what the trial of Daniel Penny was all about. That's what it was all about. They don't want real men. They don't want strong men protecting people. They just don't. Brian in Nashville, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Brian?
Dude, Brooks put me on the express line, didn't he?
Oh, he did, man. He said you got to go to Brian right away.
I've got a grandson right now named Brooks. He's 5 years old in the borough. So
I love it.
You have that in common.
I love it, man.
I love what you're doing with him. So Brooks needs to see strong men, and I hope he does. I hope that when you go to church that there's not a bunch of, I hate to say this, but sissified men or whatever they've tried to turn them into.
We prefer the term beta soy boys.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. That's the new. I'm 65, so forgive me for not keeping up.
I got you.
we need people to go Daniel Penny and Kyle Rittenhouse on people because and I hate to say this too because it's another cliche. At the end of the day, that's what we need. We need people that'll stand up, do what you know is right, and it'll all work out in the end. And if it doesn't, you still got Jesus as your Savior, bro.
Amen.
And I want Brooks to hear that.
Yep. Hey, listen, that's the only thing that matters. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that's real.
Absolutely. I got two friends that go to church down there, and Pastor Allen's had them on this podcast named Ricky and Randy Knight. They're real men. They're friends of mine. We graduated MTSU together back in the 80s, and we've just reconnected. And it was such a blessing to get to talk to two real men that have been friends of mine for a long time, and we haven't really talked a lot. But to know their testimonies, and what they stand for.
Yep.
There's a bunch of us out there. The guy that drove to Clarksville and saw the Mexican flag, he just needs to ask, and I'll meet him somewhere, and we'll ride down through there, and we'll show him our flag.
Yep. I hear you, man, and I appreciate the call, Brian. As always, God bless you, man.
Yep. Yes, sir. You too.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have to set that example for our sons, for our grandsons, what strong men do in these situations, what good men do. And it's not about being brave doesn't mean that you're not scared. Being brave is being scared and doing the right thing anyway. I tell Brooks that all the time. And if you're calling in, you're talking to Brooks, he's answering the phones back there, 615-737-9986. You got it. It's on you. It's on you. Currently, we have a group of men running this country who are, allowing the criminals to run roughshod over whatever they want. And then when they get arrested, they're released hours later. It's insanity. But this is the reality of the country. Not the reality much longer. I think things are going to change come January 20th. And we got Eric in Morristown who's up next. Always one of my favorites. Eric, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, man. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. And Merry Christmas to you. And have a very polite young man working the boards there. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Yeah, Mason's been good. He's been doing this for a while. But what do you think of Brooks?
Think of, here's you guys were just talking. I could air grievances all day.
I love it.
My first thing is our, how should I say, our federal government's foreign policy, and especially regarding the Serbian soccer financing, or to bring soccer to Serbia.
Oh, hey, a quarter million to bring Serbia soccer. I mean, that's money well spent, Eric.
In my opinion, it is not going to soccer programs. That is a ruse. That is a, how should I say, a parallel funding of how should I say, insurgent activity, if you will, in Serbia. If people haven't paid attention, Serbia is a big friend of Russia, okay? And they've been having protests. Oh, the Serbian elections aren't going our way. They're going pro-Russia, this, that, and the other. Look, I was downrange. I'm going to date myself here. 25 years ago, we're downrange. We're in Kosovo. You know, you're doing your little Kosovo forces type stuff, NATO type stuff, and we were doing things with the Brits. And my platoon just happened to be doing stuff with the Brits. And I can't remember all the cities, but Mitrovica, Pudjevo. I can't remember if we made it to Pristina or not. If forgive me, but we were doing stuff. We're riding through these towns, and it's in Kosovo. Kosovo's supposed to be the Serbians, and the poor Serbs. And first off, we're on the wrong side, in my opinion, on that one. But here's the thing, okay? You're in a foreign country, and you see spray paint, right? People are taggers all over the world, right? You're going to tag something in your native language, okay? You're going to tag it. It's going to be English, and you could tag something in the Northeast. It might be hella cool or whatever you're going to call it, right? Or say it or this, that, and the other. So we're going through town one day and spray painted on the side of these buildings, big as day in black, KLA. That stands for Kosovo Liberation Army. Why would you spray paint in English letters if you're trying to convince people that I can't even pronounce the real name of it, but the initials would have been UCK. All right, as far as that's what the translation. Are you tracking this? Unless you're trying to convince people of something, okay? Unless you're trying to convince other native-born, unless you're trying to convince those who speak a different language that this area is so-and-so's. That is a bunch. I'm calling baloney on that. And that's 25 years ago.
That's fascinating. So when you see in the Rand Paul Festivus waste report, $250,000 earmarked to promote soccer in Serbia, you're like, oh, that's black projects.
Covert or clandestine, and here's why. You follow the money from some of this. That would be something the State Department would be involved in, right? You want to promote positive foreign policy. You want to promote American values, if you will, teamwork, sportsmanship, yada yada. All right. So if you encapsulate that into an NGO, you're going to fund a non-governmental organization doing work downrange, so to speak. A lot of that can be written off as, hey, we're just helping promote democracy. We just want to do this. Meanwhile, that money's getting sidelined to do other activities other sensitive activities downrange. You can see that in in Georgia. You had these protests in Georgia recently. Oh, Lord, the Georgian government, the elections aren't this, that, and the other. So the Georgian government takes over, raids these NGOs, and guess what they find in these NGOs? They're supposed to be promoting freedom and they're finding Molotov cocktails, fireworks, other sorts of gunpowder used in high explosives for potential fabrication of IEDs of some sort. So that can all be, hey, we're just downrange. So look into the National Endowment for Democracy and look who's connected to that, and look at the NGOs they support. And my airing of grievances is we need to stay the heck out of foreign entanglements, so to speak, to the best of our ability. I hope President Trump comes in, I hope the new administration comes in and cleans house on some of this stuff, if not a lot of this stuff. But there's much more going on. And you look at that list. I'm willing to bet you look at that list. There was a State Department fingerprint on that, and that they took their fingerprint off of it because it would have been too obvious. So now, again, you fund these NGOs, and you can do whatever you want. You can just claim, hey, we're trying to promote peace and democracy and freedom, and the Serbs and this, that, and the other. Look, people should look into how the Western media framed Serbia as opposed to Kosovo, former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. Look at the Balkan states and how they're framed. I could go on this all day.
No, this is why I love it when you call, Eric. You always give me a different angle.
Yeah,
and I look at it. I look at the 250,000. I'm like, what a bunch of idiots. And then I was like, well, maybe they're not as dumb as they seem. Maybe it's very, very intentional where they're spending the money and how they're spending it. And you've just ruined that for me. I think.
Sorry, man.
What are you going to do next? Are you going to tell me that the $20 million for the Sesame Street show in Iraq wasn't just to pay those actors?
The Tooth Fairy is not real. I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh no!
All right, man. Hey, you have a good rest of Merry Christmas, and y'all be safe, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, Eric, I appreciate you as always, man. Thank you so much for the call. Right. It's 11:53 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's 11:57 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Thank you again for another fantastic show. Mason producing, Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Brooks Hand, my 7-year-old, has been in studio all day. What have you learned about radio that has really surprised you? You like the gig? You want to keep doing this?
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part?
Probably with Mason.
Let's go.
Yeah, listen, that board back there is pretty cool, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
You were
it's
hitting
not
all
me,
the buttons?
It's the board for sure.
Uh-huh.
What was your most surprising thing? Is there anything in here that really surprised you?
So much.
Was it how good looking all of us are?
Yeah. And how hard Mason works. How does he do all that?
How does he do it all?
I did not tell him to say that.
I feel like that was pre-planned. I feel like that was pre-planned.
Did you slip him some candy?
No.
You bribing the kid?
Ken, stop. I told him I'd get him 2 burgers.
That's what we're going to sneak out and get some cheeseburgers after this. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, go hit. What are we going to do? What are we going to hit?
Sonic.
Sonic?
Ooh, that's
Give me a slushie. You owe me a slushie too.
All right, deal. I'll get you a slushie. You know, President Trump prefers McDonald's.
Well, he worked there for a day, but
he did. He used to work there.
Well, even though he doesn't prefer even though he prefers McDonald's, I'm going for Sonic.
All right, hey, listen, you got to stand firm.
Yeah, he did talk about how much he loved those Sonic movies too.
Oh yeah,
he's a big fan.
Yeah, the kid likes Sonic.
Hey man,
all around.
Sonic's a good. It's great. You should show him the games. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I got the games,
bro.
I got them. I got one of those old school emulators.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where it's like 100 games. Yeah, it's the best. It looks
so
like
good.
a little Super Nintendo, but you got all the options.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we can play some Sonic later. We can do that. We're just kind of coasting. We're coasting right now. You know, it's the holiday season. Wishing everybody a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. What?
What's wrong? I don't see
something-
what's wrong with that.
Was it something I said? Even Brooks gave me a dirty look on that one.
He's like, hold on. Yeah, don't do that.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Yeah, Happy Christmas just seems classier. That's all I'm saying. I'm making it a movement. By this time next year, I'm going to make sure all of Middle Tennessee is wishing Happy Christmas.
I forgot about that one.
That's a good one.
Good.
It's a good one. We're going to miss Joe. I mean, as much as he ruined the country and gave us all these headaches and just disastrous withdrawals and crippling inflation and sky-high energy costs and rent prices through the roof and the grocery in-store prices were crazy and the Afghanistan withdrawal and the wars around the world. And
how many wars is that?
I mean, too many. The crippling American dominance and, I mean, we could go on and on, even despite all that.
But hey,
we're going to miss him a little bit.
When he's gone, I still pitch my idea of one camera and one random room in his house. Just watch him walk past it every once in a while.
Time to go, Joe.
Let's go.
Time to go, Joe. Also, time for us to go. Brooks, thanks for coming in and being my co-host today, man. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I love you, buddy. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
High noon, and I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers, we've got